Friday, and we are in love.
That's right. Good morning, Sunnies, and happy Friday. And I am so proud to say the band is back together.
Hey!
We are steeping up something seriously special today, a show packed and so good it's going to take every last drop of our attention, and we promise it'll be worth it. We've got history, we've got heart, and we've got a pioneer who ate a brunch of bread rolls in the name of justice. I'll get to that in shenanigans a little
Sounds
bit
like
later.
me. That's how I'm getting arrested. Stealing food.
I think you'll appreciate
Justice for Mel's bread rolls.
Justice for Mel and bread rolls. I think you'll like this, homeboy. That's on shenanigans. But before we get into all that and unpack this with the TLDR or whatever the hell the kids say these days, we got to turn it over to the queen of the Sunny snack scene. Mel, what are we snacking on today?
Baby Bell cheese and Circle K string cheese.
Yeah, our favorite.
The best.
Supposedly the best.
You want to get on our good side? You
Bring
said
me
a Circle
snacks.
K string cheese.
Yes,
right?
but we got two special guests today, coming from our beloved Hastings. Jena from Hastings Main Street and the incredible chef Ellie are joining us to talk about Midsummer Farm Diner. Or dinner.
I
messed
know.
it up
I
too.
can't say it right either.
That
Sorry,
sounds like the most beautiful evening in the entire summer.
All right, and of course we've got something very special. Ixiim, what do we have on deck?
Yes, today on my Inspo with Ixiim segment, we're going to talk about a couple little things, actually. A little bit about midsummer, but also about a mid-year reset and the man whose name our city gets its name from.
I love this.
Yeah.
We're going to get a little deep dive there. This is going to be so amazing because this show is fierce.
It's fresh.
It's Sunny TV, baby. And now a quick word from our title sponsors. We've got the Bailey Group and Steve Chapman's All-American Air. Be ready for anything with the Bailey Group, an NFP company. Life is full of unexpected moments. Whether it's securing your family's future, protecting your business, or planning for individual wealth, the Bailey Group is here to guide you every single step of the way. Since 1954, the Bailey Group has been a trusted cornerstone of the St. Augustine community. Under the leadership of President Mark Bailey, they've grown from a local agency into a nationally recognized firm, offering tailored solutions for individuals, families, and businesses, with a focus on individual health and life insurance, Medicare solutions, group insurance, and property and casualty commercial coverage. The Bailey Group combines cutting-edge technology, strategic partnerships, and personalized service to deliver the peace of mind you deserve. Give them a call today, 904-461-1800.
Hi, I'm Steve Chapman, owner of All American Air Conditioning and Heating. For over 40 years, we've been serving St. Augustine and the surrounding areas. We're the largest HVAC dealer in St. Johns County, providing high-quality service and products. With courteous technicians responding to your HVAC needs, our expertise will give you confidence in your investment. Family-owned All American Air Conditioning, voted Best of St. Augustine for more than 20 years running.
Mel, we got to go back to the inaccurate weather report. You were off by an hour yesterday.
Listen, I can't be right all the time. All right?
Almost doesn't count.
I said
That rain was wild.
I
It
know.
was like
I was supposed to go to this Pepper's grand opening last night, and I got rained out.
Listen, we were doing these mini routines to get the kids prepared for choreography. It's like stuff they learn at Skills Camp. And the J2 team, the Empire Army, their theme is Army because there's 30 of them on that team. That's the team I work with. They kept messing up, and they were like, well, we almost hit Coach Mel. I said, almost doesn't count. The parents in the viewing area died laughing. But here, it's time for the ba-ba-da-ba, Mel's Mostly Accurate Weather Report.
All right.
All right, friends, are you ready? Today is going to be 90, but it's going to feel 104.
Gross.
And winds are coming in southeast at 9 miles per hour, and wind gusts are going to be 20 miles per hour. Tonight, it's going to drop down to 76, but it's not going to feel 76. It's going to feel 84.653.
All right.
And it's going to rain today.
It sounds like a song, 8675309.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some details by Dean.
DetailsByDean.com.
All right, today is National Chocolate Pudding Day, and my mother makes the best chocolate pudding.
Chocolate pudding dates back to the late 1800s when it was made on stovetop, thick like custard. Ew.
Ew.
Oh.
But
Did
you know it was the first mass-produced grocery food?
No
so
way.
All the refrigerated foods we have now, we have chocolate pudding to thank for it.
God bless America.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Never mind.
And let's do birthdays today. Happy birthday, Ariana Grande.
My girl! I'm so excited. Ariana Ariana Grande started her career in Nickelodeon, which was a great Hollywood origin story because she went from playing a teenager on the Kids Network to becoming the most vocally gifted pop star, one of the most vocally gifted pop stars on the planet. Got to give a little bit to Mariah. Get me wrong.
You're right.
I want to give a quick shout out. Her new album, Pedal, drops July 31st. She described it to herself as something that is full of life, growing through the cracks, and something cold and hard and challenging. The lead single's already out. It's called Hate That I Made You Love Me.
It's coming out on Jim's birthday. I'm sure he cannot wait.
Oh, that's fun.
Let's do another birthday.
Who else we got?
Chris
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell.
Cutie pie.
Wasn't he Superman? No, wait, what did he do?
He
was
was
a superhero.
Robin in Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he was on
Superhero.
NCIS Los Angeles.
That's right.
And let's move to world history. On this day in 1963, John F. Kennedy gave one of the most famous speeches in American history.
Standing
Yes.
in West Berlin during the Cold War, Kennedy looked at a divided city and said, "Ich bin Berliner." I am a Berliner.
So good, David.
Declaring it in the
You
most...
just cursed out everyone in German.
That is my German.
Okay,
Thank you very
so
little.
funny story about that
Here's
is
the
that
truth, everybody.
is that the speechwriters were not sure if JFK would be able to pronounce it.
Okay. Obviously, I did
and
it.
Davey did such a smashing job. No, but he actually pronounced it phonetically. He wrote it on a little pad and practiced it phonetically because he couldn't look at it and actually say it. So yes, the Ich bin Berliner.
That's
Very
perfect.
nice.
See?
And on this day in 1945 in U.S. history, one of the most important documents in modern history was signed.
Oh.
The United Nations Charter.
That's
Yes.
right.
50 nations gathered in San Francisco and signed an agreement to cooperate rather than destroy each other just weeks after World War II ended in Europe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And on this day in 1870, Christmas became a federal holiday.
Oh, that's nice. They
Yeah.
did that a little early, but that's okay.
And last but not least, let's do some Florida facts.
Let's do it.
In 2023, a Florida man dumped 200 pounds of ice into a backyard swimming pool during a heat wave to cool it down. The temperature dropped by 1 degree. Neighbors filmed it. He stood by the decision and called it worth the experiment. However, his pool did not agree.
Ew, that
In
sounds...
1994 in London, a man tried to rob a convenience store using a banana hidden under his jacket, claiming it was a gun. The cashier looked at him, looked at the banana, and said, no. Heck no, techno. Police arrested him outside. The banana was unharmed, but it had brown spots, so Mel would not eat
I
it.
had a banana this morning. You were so offended by it.
Me
Yeah, it had brown
too.
spots.
I
But
had
you know,
a
so
banana.
funny little fact about bananas. You know, they're actually considered berries, and
Yes.
strawberries
True.
strawberries are not berries. Like what?
Yeah.
Like mind blown, right?
Tomatoes are fruits.
They're a fruit, I
Yep,
know.
Yes.
Right. All right, let's drum it, hum it down, Sonnies. Let's get into this local music report. This will be as fast as I possibly can because we have a show for you today.
Yes.
But these local musicians need a little bit of spotlight on this June 26th. We got Jim Johnson at Pierce Pub at 11. Damon Slaughter, Bin 39 Wine Bar at 1. Edwin Barbosa at La Cocina at 1. Heather Craig, Tradewinds Lounge at 1. Joshua Tennessee Worthy, Backyard Island Meehan's Irish Pub at 1. Charlotte Macaluso, Bin 39 at 4. Greg Johnson at the Guy Harvey Resort at 4. Chubby McGee at the Conch House at 4. Adam Grayford, Milltop Tavern at 4:30. Bad Endings at Beaches Volano at 5. And the world famous, the one, the only, Zaza Flamenca at Linda's at Ocean Club at 5. Ollie Twist and Marina Munch at 5. Craig Hand at the Shores Golf Club at 5. Then we got Jim Acelta at Schooners at 6:30. Bad Dog Mama at Colonial Oak Music Park at 7. Brian Rowland, Fawn McCool's Irish Pub at 7. And finishing it out tonight, we got Cholula at PK at 10 o'clock. We got some great expectations for those musicians.
People are looking for a company. I want people to have great expectations. We are a small family-owned brokerage. What that means is you get really personalized service and everything is very hands-on. You're not just getting tossed onto the MLS and crossing our fingers. We're very aggressive with our marketing. We're excellent with communication. We have a lot of amazing relationships in the community, so you're getting the advantages of all of those things.
Sonnies, you know how much we love talking about Hastings, and now we have a beautiful event to talk about. The Midsummer Farm Dinner is bringing together local flavors, seasonal ingredients, handcrafted cocktails, live music, and the simple joy of gathering around the table in the beautiful venue over on Hastings Main Street. Joining us today is no secret to this show, one of the fierce, the fabulous, and the lovely Jena Dennis, and of course, Chef Ellie Rose. Hi, ladies.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Guys, I'm so excited you had this really cool partnership together. You're going to the beautiful venue, and we have Midsummer Farm dinner. This is amazing. Talk about this concept.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We are thrilled to partner, of course, with Chef Ellie and all of her expertise. It's something we just started. This is our second one, and we're going to try to do these every other month. And it's just a great way to partner with local chefs and showcase their talent, but also showcase all of our farmers. So we try to source as much as possible locally. And it's been amazing. The turnout was great at the last one. We had a lot of fun. So if you haven't made plans yet for tomorrow night, we still have some tickets available.
Awesome. Okay.
And I'll let Chef Ellie tell you all about the menu and the yumminess coming forward.
Yeah. So Ellie, last time we talked to you, obviously James Beard dinner.
Yeah.
We have to hear an update. How was it?
It was amazing.
I mean, you looked amazing. You were shining in
you.
your moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking because I had the last course, so watching all the other chefs jumping in and helping, and then just kind of waiting for my time to get my food out. But it went super smooth, and my ice cream was pretty and delicious, and I think it blew a lot of people's minds because I did a celery ice cream.
Yes.
And
The ants on a log, right? It was the
yeah.
play on the ants on a log.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had Mayha toffee, and Mayha's like a little berry that's just local to the area. A lot of people don't even know what it is. And some like peanut and cacao nib dust, and I think a lot of people were like, "What is this?" But then I wouldn't stop eating it. So it felt really great. So
We heard from several people over at the Pena Peck House, which is an extraordinary the women's exchange, and they had so much fun that night, and it was just really cool to have that moment, and which leads us to this moment now, which you kind of are remixing a little bit. I mean, here you are, you're having Midsummer Farm Table. Talk about this concept and where this all came from.
well, I mean, as soon as Jena asked me to do anything, I kind of
Me
jump on
too,
board.
yeah.
I mean, I love Hastings Main Street and like what they're doing, kind of revitalizing the area. And I also, anytime I write her and say, "Hey, tell me about this property," she's like immediately telling me all about it. So it's kind of this thing where I'm like, yes, I want to support you, and the venue's amazing. First of all, I'm really excited to do a dinner there. But then also a challenge. Whenever I have a theme, I love having something there. Give me a theme and I can run with it, especially farm to table. The season, this is a really tricky season right now. It's kind of all of the things in spring are over. The summer hasn't quite popped off yet. So, reaching out to all of the farmers and friends I have that have farm stands and finding out what's in season. And they're like, not a lot.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
it's very beginning of okra season. Corn's kind of ending. Tomatoes are ending. Peaches, you have to go a little more north, like, Georgia. So it's just kind of an interesting thing to figure out. Lots of potatoes still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will be using Wilson Farms potatoes and like a couple,
Yay.
like the feed mill. They did the last dinner, and I immediately reached out to them and like, what do you have that's local? And they're growing okra. They have really cute red okra that's like really short and little.
Oh, fun.
I love
So
okra.
yeah, it's
So
gonna.
good.
There is a lot of seasonal stuff. It's just sourcing it was like a challenge, and I had fun doing it. So.
Now, do you think about how many guests are going to be in the venue at that time before you design the menu, or is this not like I have the menu and then the guests will roll right into it?
I'm gonna try to cap it. I think it's a big difference on the menu for 150 people versus 20 or 30 people.
True, yeah.
So I always go into when I'm doing something more than like 20 people to know that I'm gonna cook 80% of it ahead of time, and you never know what's going to happen the day of. You
Yeah.
want to be able to be completely prepared and know that everything, maybe you just need to warm up half of it. I'm doing a salad, things that I can put out there that I'm not going to have to freak out the last minute for.
Yeah. So Jena, why did you guys come up with this concept? I mean, I love that you're partnering with local chefs and local farms and kind of making that synergy there. Why is the venue the most perfect spot for this?
So our goal was really to give people in the community, and community not just Hastings, but all of St. Johns County, and even folks are coming from Palatka and surrounding communities, to get together and have a relaxed evening of hanging out, eating good food, and talking, and just enjoying each other's company. It's been a lot of fun meeting new faces, people that were curious to see, what is the venue all about. It's just an opportunity. I feel like next year, we're starting to book a lot of weddings and events for next year because, most people book out a year. So we're taking advantage of this time where we don't have an event planned every weekend to be able to do stuff like this that is more meaningful to us, that is really just a way for us to connect with people.
Yeah. Ellie, I mean, this is a new venue. I mean, it's a different spot. I mean, it's almost like learning how to ride a bicycle again and something different. Does the venue have everything that you need as to make this successful?
You know, I actually haven't been. I just asked her. I was like, "Can you please send me pictures of the space?" I'm sure that it does. I think the thing that I do right now is really pivot a lot. So I'm going as a private chef into Airbnbs and different people's houses where I don't know exactly what the setup is, and knowing that I have to be prepared for kind of any situation. I know that this is going to be, you know, she sent me the pictures like, oh, I have everything.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna be fine.
girl, like you were literally
Yeah.
MacGyver.
Oh, let
Like
me
I've
tell
seen
you.
a card table, a wing and a prayer, and you make it like luxury. I love it.
My favorite. Okay, the venue's gorgeous. The ceiling is. I mean,
Woo,
that's
the
when we
ceiling.
went.
Shout out Alan.
But the most thought out part of that entire place is the women's restroom,
Okay.
the bridal
bathroom.
suite. Because let me tell you, when you're in a wedding gown and you sit on the toilet, my wedding gown, the train of my gown fell in the toilet. Actually,
Oh no.
so but just a little bit of it.
I wore Japan.
But I will tell you, you thought that through. And when I went to the venue and I went to use the bathroom, I was like, oh my God. this is
Right.
amazing.
All
And
the
that right there,
details.
it's
Yeah, I
just
told
the
you
details.
that is like a pet peeve. There's like so many little things that I experience going to formal events and being dressed nicely, and you know that was one of them. I like pitched a fit with the contractor. He's like, "We can't make this work. It won't fit." And I'm like, "Yes, it will. Here's what we're in." We redesigned the bathroom stalls a few different times to figure out the plumbing and the logistics, just to make sure if you were dressed up, you can get in and out of the bathroom stall without straddling the toilet.
That's
So
amazing.
Yes.
That really, truly is a
It's
gift.
the little things in life.
Absolutely. Speaking of little things, talk about some of the little bites that we might be experiencing on this
Ooh, my favorite
upcoming-
part.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, the perfect bite's kind of always something that I'm excited to do, and hors d'oeuvres kind of really showcase that. I did get some really amazing seafood. Well, it's not seafood. It's a fish dip, a smoked fish from Bell's, which is just around the corner off of Main Street in
Awesome.
Hastings. I'm gonna do little bites with that. I'm frying some kettle fried potato chips to go with that, and there's a couple other things. I'm doing a heirloom tomato farmer's cheese, kind of like a caprese, making my own cheese. Which,
Okay.
is exciting because it's some of those things that I'm really stretching the limits of, like, oh, I've always wanted to do this. I'm getting this fresh cream and buttermilk from Wainwright Dairy. Like, why not make my own
Yeah.
cheese with it?
Right.
I remember growing up, my Nona, we would go to New Jersey every year, and I have pictures somewhere, I need to find them. And she taught us how to make homemade mozzarella. Because let me tell you, my Nona refused to get certain things from the grocery store, pastas, breads. She made it all. And there's pictures
That's
of us
like
little
true.
making
I
homemade
love this.
mozzarella.
Yeah.
So the fact that you just said that, it's like, oh my God.
What are your thoughts on
Flashback.
burrata? This is a hot topic in
yeah.
my group of friends.
So I love burrata.
Some say it's too creamy and it's a waste of time. I think that's
I
terrible.
think it can be topped with, like, really amazing things.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like the same way I feel about tofu, where it's
It
a
tastes like
vessel
anything
for
you cook
other,
it in.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
other flavors.
That's
Right.
a great point.
Yeah, I think that I've had it. I've made it with like a lemon jam before,
Ooh.
and bacon, and then it's like, you know, all of these other salty, sweet, sour things that go with it. The creaminess works.
Do you think, David, do you think she's going to want, I brought some of the string cheese from the Kangaroo. You think Chef Ellie's going to want one?
Chef Ellie, we have found out we are string cheese specialists on this show. I know we're digressing a little bit from the interview,
have to,
but
that's about food.
But this is really, I mean, the Circle K string cheese
It's
is
the
extraordinary.
best.
I know
Okay.
people are in the audience screaming at the screen right now.
I'm
but
going to
it's
get
really
you,
good.
I brought extras. I'm going to give you one.
There's some butteriness
I can't
about
wait.
it.
I have no idea what it is, but one day I was at the gas station getting my dandy sandwich, and I was like, I'm going to try string cheese. And I'll tell you what, I am addicted, and they were out.
Award winning.
So I went and got, there were only 5 left, so I bought them all.
They
Oh
put them
my
on. They
gosh,
put her on the
that is
wait
so
list.
funny.
Yeah, they
Yes.
called her when it was in stock.
So
Yeah.
you
I
got
don't
to
know,
try
Ellie.
it.
I kind of feel like that's like challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Like your next thing is
Oh,
going to
I'm
have to
gonna
be
get it right
string
now.
cheese.
Yeah.
Please name it after Mel. So Jenna, I do want to ask you, why is this important to Hastings Main Street and partnering with these chefs and these local farms and having these really cool moments? Is that drawing in people? Is that the whole point?
Absolutely. I mean, anyone that's never been to the venue, I feel like when they come out there and they get to experience, of course, they tell their friends, and it's a great way to draw, you know, people to that experience and to get to know Hastings as well. But I think a lot of it is probably a little more selfish. I just love doing stuff like this. I enjoy being able to support amazing talent like Ellie. Next month, we're doing Sebastian Sakura.
We talked about that yesterday,
Yeah,
yes.
so we're excited about that. And it's really a time to honor folks that work so hard throughout the year and to kind of showcase them in a way. We give them complete creativity freedom. Like, do your thing. Tell us what you envision, and we're here to support you. And that's a lot of fun because every single time, it never disappoints. I mean, they just create these experiences. Tomorrow night, we're going to have some live music. We found this talented piano player out of Jacksonville. We were at the event at the Waterworks this past weekend, and he was playing there, and he was amazing. So we became BFFs, and now he's coming Saturday.
Oh, yeah, there was the Emma Concert Association moment. That's awesome. Very cool.
You know, it's really fun to meet new people and give them opportunities to kind of just expand their horizons, and you know, we enjoy every bit of it.
We interviewed a brand new musician in this landscape too. She's normally known up in Jax, but Jordan Judith came on our show, and it was so fun to see young and incredibly passionate people that love what they're doing. And I think that that's really what, you know, these kind of moments, these vignettes are all about. I think that's awesome. So let's also dive into the conversation too about what people can expect. You know, I'm parking the car, I'm opening the door, and I'm walking in. What's the experience like? Is there decor that's going to be Midsummer Night's Dream kind of theme, or what's the thought process on that?
Yeah, so we try to cap the number of tickets we sell just because we want this to be a more intimate experience. So we try not to do more than 30, 35, people, and it is all done in the front room, which is a smaller, more intimate space.
Yeah.
We'll have live music. It's open bar, so we have cocktails as well as beer and wine. And then it's a long farm table with fresh flowers throughout, and kind of a rustic farm feel. You can come barefoot. We're not going to judge you.
Oh, okay. I like it. It's very Florence
Jenna,
machine.
why you say that?
You
It's
can
very
also come
natural.
fabulous.
It's instincts.
But it's going to be a lot of fun.
I love that. Ellie, what are you looking forward to? Is there one specific dish that you're like, wow, I just can't wait to put this together?
It's funny because I'm not a pastry chef, and I've kind of been leaning into the desserts recently. The dessert is a brown butter chess pie or buttermilk pie.
Wow.
It's partially inspired by like this, the crack pie that's at Milk Bar in New York City that I love.
Absolutely obsessed, yes.
And then it's also like a super Southern traditional dish too. So kind of like merging the things that are who I am. And then I have some local blueberries I'm topping it with, lemon zest, honey, whipped cream. So I think that's something that bringing those flavors together, I'm not a huge dessert person, but making a dessert I actually want to eat, I feel like it's almost more of a challenge and gets me excited about it.
Kind of your niche and kind of like your forte is pairing things that are extraordinary. Do you journal? I mean, do you try things, you're like, ooh, that wasn't good, but do you write things down to remember?
I have a lot of lists and a lot of notes that I never look at again.
Really? Yeah, I know,
but then I do when a menu comes up, I have a lot of notebooks all over the place, and I'll try to like pull things back up. But sometimes just writing it down helps me be like, pull it back up. But yeah, I'm constantly coming up with ideas. I'm constantly coming up with, event ideas even, or like we'll message somebody that has a space. I'm like, ooh, we should do this next.
Yeah.
So I have a couple like pop-up ideas and festival ideas where I'm just like, who do I tell to make this happen?
Yeah. Yeah, one of my concentrations when I talk to people that are creative is always making sure you capitalize on the creativity moment, because you just never know when it's going to go away. I mean, sometimes that happens in art in general. How are you resetting? How are you getting that creative? Because literally, Ellie, you go from event to event, and they're all extraordinary experiences.
I do get a little bit of the creative fatigue. Like I feel that. I think finding that balance, like hanging out with my son, asking what he's into. Obviously, you guys know, like he's starting a pastry camp with Bethany and Maria next week. But he's really like a lot of inspiration too. We watch like reels together and kind of stay on top of like things that are coming up and
He's
trending.
taking the chef course?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to know all about it. Because my nieces are actually interested in doing it too. That's a lot of fun.
He did 2 weeks last year and loved it.
So much fun.
Yeah.
I love Maria and Bethany. They really are a creative duo themselves. That's
Yeah.
great. I love that.
But yeah, it's honestly, I would say I've just started doing Pilates at Garage.
Okay.
And I started in January, and I'm obsessed. I didn't think that would kind of be a full reset, but I go at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm like ready to do my day.
I love that.
So
Yes.
that has been something that is not kind of everyone who knows me. They're like, "What? You 6:30 in the morning? You?" And I'm like, "I have to,
Yeah.
or else when else do I do it?" So,
Absolutely.
But that has been kind of a nice way for me to just clear my head. And then I also have a 45-minute drive to Ponte Vedra after that. So that also is like, I'm never alone. I have,
What's your route? Do you go A1A Scenic?
A1A,
Oh, absolutely. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And like there's no cell service. And I'm like, thank you. Just let me have my moment. Yeah. It's
exactly.
definitely music video documentary hour when I'm driving there. So Jena Hastings, how is everything looking out there? How are the local businesses? How's the library looking? Give us an update.
Amazing. Yeah, everyone is going strong. I actually saw Justin yesterday from Juniper Market. He's out there and getting so close with their build out. So we're
Fantastic.
excited they're going to be opening soon. Library's working through some, last minute construction things. So hoping they'll be open soon. We don't have a set date for that yet, but it's exciting. They took down the construction fence. So I feel like that's when things are starting to get real.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking beautiful. All the businesses are doing good, and everyone's, just chugging along.
Any updates on those lampposts?
So actually, that's a great question. I emailed 2 days ago looking for an update on where we were with construction timeline. We knew from the time they signed the agreement to actual breaking ground, it'd be about 6 months. So we're about a month and a half into it.
That's fantastic.
So, but I keep on poking them and we're excited.
Any hot listings that people need to keep their eyes on, or anything that's out there? Like let's go to Great Expectations and get some more details.
Yeah, we have some great properties right now, and it's a great time to buy. A lot of people are speculating about the interest rates. So I think some of you have seen, most likely the Fed is going to raise rates this fall rather than doing another drop. So a lot of folks are getting into action right now, trying to capitalize on the lower rates.
Was it sitting at 6%-ish right now-ish?
Yeah, I mean, depending on your
Compared to the
credit and
80s,
all
it's
the-
still
yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, I tell people, I'm like, this is actually a really good, healthy rate. This
Exactly.
is a stabilized interest rate. We're not going to see 2 and 3% again, probably. So, but I have a property that was a VA loan, and the buyer is VA, and they're assuming a 2.5% interest rate right now.
Whoa.
So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
There's some loans that can be assumed. We're seeing a lot of that in this market. But
We've had some sunnies out there in comments, and I think I tagged you into about thinking about getting a second home and coming to St. Augustine. Is that what's a perfect start for them to start looking at properties? Do you guys have a website or anything?
yeah, if you go to gerealty.us, we have a lot of our listings there. If you're looking for creativity and kind of thinking outside the box, like you start getting into DSCR loans for investment properties, there's some amazing opportunities for that. It's best to call first, because then we can say, all right, this property would qualify for that, this one would cash flow, and kind of help tailor to your needs. But yeah, it's a great time.
It's a great time. It's always great to be here with both of you guys. Thank you so much for your time today. Talk about these tickets real quick. Where can people start signing up and start getting involved with Midsummer Night's Farm Dream? Saying it all wrong.
Yes.
Midsummer Farms. Yeah, table. Good.
So you can get tickets on all of our socials. We're all tagged, so the venue or even Hastings Main Street. We do donate a portion of the proceeds to Hastings Main Street.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's always super cool. We try to support that through all of our different events we do. But you can also buy tickets on Ellie's pages or the venue's pages. But yeah, we still have, I think, four or five tickets left. So definitely pop online, grab your tickets today, and we hope to see you tomorrow night.
And Ellie, what can we look forward to? You're always up to something.
Ooh. I do have a couple of meetings with local chefs, have some space available for pop-ups.
Fabulous.
Kind of doing maybe a more long-term, like a 3-night kind of dinner pop-up, something like that. I also have some things in the work with Pena Peck House again.
Yay!
So I'm super excited. I do have some like kind of longer term things that I'm working on, and I'm hoping to take a little break in the July time.
Good.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Good. You
good.
deserve it. You're amazing.
Thank
Ladies,
you.
thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break with Maritime Creative and Flashes and Brilliance. Maritime Vibe Check!
Fresh version.
When the lights come on and the magic begins,
There's a crew behind the scenes that always wins.
Maritime Creative. They set the stage.
From sound to lights to video waves.
Big show, small space, doesn't matter a bit.
They show up, they glow up, they make it all lit.
No panic, no chaos, just smooth, clean flow.
They take a wild idea and make it glow.
need a vibe, they build it.
Have a dream, they get it.
From spark to spotlight, they never forget it.
I trust them, I love them, they come on through.
Maritime Creative, that's the real stuff, boo.
So if you want your moment to rise and shine,
Call the crew that always gets it right every time. It's Maritime. Got gold? Got silver? Got a drawer full of what even is this? Then it's time to cash in with Flashes and Brilliance, Northeast Florida's most trusted gold buyers. They're not just buying gold, they're buying silver, rare coins, fine watches, estate jewelry, and all the sparkle you forgot you had. Don't just sit on your treasure. Turn it into cash today. Call John and Steph, the pros who make it easy. 904-540-7617. It's fast, it's friendly, it's Flashes and Brilliance, because your buried treasure belongs in your bank account. All right, it's Friday, which means our queen of the arts and cultural scene. We got Inspo with Ixiim today.
Yes.
Take it away, boo.
Yay, fantastic. Well, I could not have asked for a better segue than Jena and Ellie this morning because
Midsummer, right?
Midsummer. So, Sunnies, you know, I always like to like dress up my little area here. We even got Funshine Bear dressed up because there's two things I want to talk about. Kind of three things I want to talk about. I would be remiss, first off, if I did not acknowledge the fact that we are on the last Friday of Pride Month. So we wanted to make sure to celebrate that because also this Sunday is a very important day in terms of Pride history. Davey talked about it as we kicked off Pride Month, which is this Sunday, June 28th, is actually the birth date, if you will, of Pride because of what happened at Stonewall Inn. The Stonewall Inn was a bar. As you know, Davey talked about the story. It was raided. And it was that action that prompted people to stand up for their rights and to, you know, that's where that was the birthplace of Pride. If you've ever been to it in New York, it's almost like this. I get chills.
It's a mecca.
It's a mecca.
Yeah.
And someone I know went there recently, just in the last week, and it's all decked out right now. It's absolutely beautiful. But this Sunday is Stonewall. It's the anniversary of Stonewall. So for all of our LGBTQIA plus family and friends, we see you, we honor you, we acknowledge you, we stand with you, and we want to take, you know, just to find a little bit of celebration. So we've got our Pride stuff, but it's also Chef Ellie and Jena talked about this because we have the midsummer dinner.
Yeah.
I can say it. It's also midsummer. It's the midsummer time. And we don't actually celebrate midsummer very often, but there are lots of cultures around the world who actually have midsummer celebrations. And I kind of was thinking about this, you know, as I was preparing for this week's Inspo segment. Midsummer is such a great time, or mid-year, to think about where we are in relation to the year. And as I was thinking about that, these midsummer reflections, these mid-year reflections, something else kind of kept popping up to me. And that was the fact that we live in a town called St. Augustine, or if you want to say the name of the saint's name properly, it's St. Augustine.
Okay.
Because I guess in Latin, that's how you're supposed to say it, Augustine versus
Augustine.
There he
Augustine.
is.
Yeah.
St. Augustine.
Looking
There
at
he
his
is.
winder.
Dapper
So
Daddy.
for those who are travelers who like to travel, St. Augustine is quite well known because there's a very famous quote that he had about travel, and it's that the world, hold on, I wrote this down. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. And the reason St. Augustine was so famous, he was born 354 AD, so this is years and years and years ago, right? He was known for being the first person to really ever write publicly about self-reflection and self-awareness and self-realization. And you think about how that's become sort of norm and standard now, but he was the first to actually write it in a book and to pose these questions that people at that time were not thinking about. They were thinking about these big philosophical questions about God and the world, but people were not actually stopping to think about themselves. So, you know, I talk about this often also. I like to go out on the beach in the mornings. You know, I'm walking right now because I can't run because I have this little injury, but when I'm out there, I often think about that as my time to stop and reflect and to pause and to sort of ponder life and the sky, but it's also time to sort of go within. And so I thought today we'd spend a little bit of time learning about Augustine and also doing a little bit of a mid-year reset and checking in with ourselves and seeing where we all are, you know, in our own lives, in our own year, in our own season, and kind of go from there. So St. Augustine, as I mentioned, born 354 AD. So this is a really interesting fact about him too. He was born in North Africa.
Oh.
And I thought this was kind of interesting because we often equate him with like maybe a European, maybe he was
Yeah.
Roman or Italian or some kind of European.
Or like
Yeah.
Greek
He
or
was
something.
actually born in North Africa in what is now Algeria. And
Huh.
he was born to a very, very religious, pious mother and a very ambitious father. So imagine
Wow.
growing up with these two dueling like messages. You have mother who's saying do good in the world, and you have father who's saying do well in the world. And like think about how many of us probably have those very similar kind of challenges. We have different messages we're hearing from the outside. Well, he spent the first part of his life being extremely successful. He followed in the path that his father kind of laid out for him. He was a successful rhetorician, which was
What does that even mean?
so rhetoric is the speaker. So back then that was a thing. Like that was a job. He would go and he'd be like a public speaker, but he would philosophize and have all these big, heavy conversations. He was very well known. He was very well respected. He became extremely successful. He was this well-known orator. So like if you think about him in today's world, he probably would have a million books. He would probably be like giving tours. He'd be like a Tony Robbins. I'm sure he'd have like a TED Talk or something.
Yeah.
Like, he would be that guy. He had all the trappings of success. He was doing everything that he was supposed to be doing. And yet, he realized years into this that he wasn't happy. He was doing all the things that like he was expected to do in life.
It wasn't
And-
fulfilling.
Right. And I think about how many of us like go after that big dream. We do all the things we're supposed to do. We like get the degree, we get the job,
Then you
we
get
buy
in and
the
you're
house.
like, what now?
Yeah. What now? Am I happy? Am I any happier? And a lot of times we aren't. And it's because maybe there's like a misalignment. So he started realizing that and asking himself questions. Why am I not happy? What is it that I'm not feeling that's not fulfilling for me? And this was kind of revolutionary at the time because back then people were not thinking about going within. People were
Yeah.
just looking at the outside. And that's actually another one of his famous quotes. I'm going to give an approximation of it, but he talks about how people wander the world to see these beautiful mountains and wander the world to see these amazing oceans and wander the world to see these gorgeous lakes, and yet they walk past the thing that they see every day, which is themselves. And they don't look at the world with they don't look at themselves with the same wonder that they look at the world. And like that's just a really amazing thing. So he started realizing like, hey, there's more to this. I need to think about myself and my actions. And there was one story that kind of kept popping up in his mind, and it was a story about, of all things, pears. This is
Like
kind
the
of
fruit?
like the fruit. This one is a fruit.
Oh, I was thinking my body shape. Okay, perfect. Yes, thank you.
So when he was a teen, he and his friends went to a neighbor's property and stole all the pears off of a pear tree that this neighbor had.
Ooh, bad boys.
Right? And they did nothing with them. They threw them all away. They didn't eat them. They didn't sell
That's
them.
ignorant.
They just threw them away.
Just
and he
to
said,
see if they could do it.
yes. And he said for
Bastards.
years that sat on his soul because he wondered why he did it. He said,
Yeah.
why did I do something that was against my values? Why did I follow the crowd? Why did I give in to temptation? Why? And rather than being super judgmental about it, which is, yes, he did wrong, but I think that's another thing is when we make a mistake, he taught people to offer themselves grace because he said that people are not perfect. The only perfect thing is a person who's striving to be a better person. These are all approximations. You can read his quotes. They're phenomenal, though. So he spent time thinking about, like, why did I do that? What did I learn from that? And that was the biggest change is the what did I learn from that?
You know, this reminds me of a story of Ariana Grande licking the donut.
Yeah.
Why did
Yeah,
she,
no,
why?
right,
Why
right.
did she do that? It was like the most random thing.
Yes.
And
Because
so-
she could. That's why it's like they do these things just because you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so yes, people do things because they can, but
Winona
they
Ryder.
know it's not aligned with who they are.
So
And
he was
there's
really
a
getting
moment-
into the intention of your actions,
Yes.
I think.
Yes, and so it was revolutionary at the time. He wrote a book called Confessions, and he started writing it
Of a dance floor?
Yeah, on a dance floor. I'm like,
Yes!
she's coming.
July
Hey! See how we time
Cannot
together.
wait.
He wrote it from the time he was like 43 to 46. So for any of you who are in this time of life, he was having the same questions that we are all having now. Like, what is my purpose? What am I learning from my life? And so, like, right now, as we're in the midpoint through the year, I think a lot of us may be thinking, okay, June's going to be ending. We're 6 months in. I have 6 months to go. What have I accomplished this year? How far am I towards the goals I set for myself? And those can be kind of hard, heavy questions, right? Like, you start to feel like, oh, maybe I didn't do all the things. And so you start to judge yourself and you start to feel like maybe there's some failure in there. So I want to kind of reframe it in the way that Augustine did, which was not what have I accomplished, not where am I in track with my goals. It's what am I learning from this? What are the lessons I'm taking from this? And that's a completely different way of thinking about your own life and about your progress in life and the season you're in life. It's not what did I accomplish, but how have I grown and changed as a person? Because that was really Augustine's message, was growth and evolution of a human being. Like that for him is really what this is all about. And, you know, we think about this time of change. So midsummer, it's also aligned with the solstice. In the Northern Hemisphere, we have the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. In all these Scandinavian countries who are up north, they celebrate this. In the Southern Hemisphere, you have the winter solstice. So like in Peru, they have a festival tied to the winter solstice, their shortest day of the year. But it's a time of change and a time of a seasonal change. And just like nature, we humans also have times of change. We have seasons of change. Maybe we're in a time of rest.
You mean like perimenopause?
Hey, that's a hard time of
That one's called La Cambia de Vida. Huh?
That is
Just
a
saying,
hard-
that's a change.
Yes, that's a summertime for me all day long.
That's like, you know, back in the day when we were younger, you know, the older women in the family would be like, I'm going through the change. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? Are you putting a sweater on? I didn't
No.
understand what that meant.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's very real. But maybe if we thought about ourselves in that manner, that we don't always have to be going towards like one particular direction. We're in seasons. We're cyclical, just like nature, just like trees, just like flowers. We're all part of nature, right? So maybe we also have times where we need to reset. Maybe there's times when we're resting. Maybe there's times when we're exerting more energy. Maybe there's times when we are filled with angst, and that's okay. That's okay. Those are all part of it. But being aware and thinking to yourself with curiosity. We talk about curiosity a lot on this show.
It's good to be curious.
Right? We talk about curiosity for
Absolutely.
other cultures. We talk about curiosity about things in history, looking at the world with a curious eye. But sometimes we also need to look at ourselves with curious eyes.
Yep.
So like right now, I know a lot of people probably feel restless. Like restlessness is a pretty common feeling, especially at this time of life and just as things are going on in the world. And restlessness, I wouldn't, like some people view it as like a negative thing. I actually don't think of it as a negative thing. I think of it as an invitation to explore what's happening within yourself and think about what you're doing and how can you change. And I think about like my own life. So there was an example I like to share, and Addie heard a little bit about this a couple of weeks ago when I was speaking at an event. Early in my career, I really wanted to fit the part of what I thought I needed to be a successful business executive in corporate America. And so I wore like boxy suits. I didn't wear much makeup at all. I wore glasses every day. My hair was pulled back severely. Okay, it's pulled back now because it's hot. But, you know, I tried to play the part of what I thought I needed to be successful in banking and all that. And I sort of hid all of this. I hid the Latina in me,
Boo.
right? I know, but you go into it and you
Sure.
think, I need to play the part
Yeah,
of
that's
something
true.
else.
I mean, I
think
have to tone my gayness down. I mean, it's the truth. I have to
Yes,
make
y-
myself
yes,
smaller
and
to
you're-
fit
that's
into
a prime
society.
example. That's
I
a
think
very
at
good
some
example.
point in all of our lives, and everybody, I think at some point we all feel like we have to fit into this ideal of what things are. And then you finally get to a point where you're like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to be me. I don't really care.
Yeah. And that's what I think. So, you know, back to this restlessness, I was in this job and I thought, you know, there's something, you would go in there at work and feel slightly like ill at ease, and people sense that, right? So I went to this,
Because you're
thankfully,
wearing a stupid boxy suit.
Yeah. I went to this, thankfully, this Latino leadership training they sent me to at UCLA, and it was all about embracing whom you are as a person. And I remember walking out of that room sobbing, realizing that I could be me, the warmth, you know, I'm loud, I'm warm,
colorful.
the color. I love connecting with people. Like those are gifts that I get to bring.
Yep.
But by hiding them, I was not letting other people experience them. And I also was not giving other people the freedom to be themselves as well. And so restlessness in that situation was like me feeling uncomfortable, but recognizing why I was restless allowed me to step through it and give myself permission to be myself, and it gave other people permission to be themselves.
I'm thinking of Augustine right now because he wrote a lot about pleasure fades. And joy is really what activates you.
Yes.
And really kind of motivates you in your life. It's your joy, and you have to find that joy. Can you talk about how important that is?
Yeah, for him, so the carnal pleasures, as he often talked about, you know, we fall so quickly to temptation around these because they're instant, they're immediate. But again, that's an external thing. And so he spent a lot of time talking about how these external things, they're easy to fall into because they're right there and they feel immediate, but it's the inner joy that really is the lasting thing. Like that joy is what carries you through all of it. You experience life differently if you focus on finding the joy within than finding the joy without. He like his common, when people talk about him, the common thought is that he talks about how the biggest journey isn't outside, it's inside. And it's how much time we spend really thinking about what matters to us, who we are, what we're learning, what we're wanting to grow into, who we want to become. He
And
had
the
this
people
big
that
thing.
are around us.
Yes.
Because he also talked about the people that are around us, or it reveals something about ourselves.
Yes, he often said that you can tell someone's value by where they place their focus and attention. So even if they don't tell you what's valuable to them, you'll notice by seeing what they're doing, where they're spending their time, where they're spending their money. Those are great indicators. And if in your own life you feel like where you place value isn't aligned with yourself right now, you may feel uncomfortable. And so maybe think about, where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your effort? You know, after my near-death thing a couple of years ago, that was really, really clear for me that time is so finite. So where am I going to place my time? It's with the people I care about who care about me. It's with the things that I'm passionate about. Sunny TV.
Love it.
It's, you know, it's really being aware of where you spend your energy. But, you know, like, he's just a phenomenal thinker.
Gratitude's a practice.
Yes.
God, I love that.
Yeah, and you know, you think about this man. He was at the top of his game. He had everything in the world, and he essentially gave it all away because he realized that all these material things were not the answer. That the answer was finding joy within, finding alignment with yourself and your purpose, and then every day doing a little bit to move towards that direction. So like during this midsummer reset, I like to think about like, okay, often people write these resolutions. You know, on the show we talked about, we didn't do resolutions. We talked about intentions.
Yeah.
And so maybe for this latter part of the year, we think about two things. What did we learn this year? What has this year been teaching me? What did I let go of? Or what do I need to let go of? What is a gift or a talent that I've found that I want to embrace more of? Like those are some really, you know, they're simple and yet they're meaningful.
Almost like trying to find a word, an intentional word for the second half of 2026. What is that word going to be for you guys, Sunnies out there? And take your time on it and give yourself permission to really dive in and look at the whole picture of your life. Don't let it feel overwhelming. Make it feel inspiring, right?
Absolutely.
Follow the joy and follow the people that are supporting all of your endeavors. I think that's so important.
It's funny you say the thing about the word because I always have a word for the year. So, and I have one that's true for every single year for me. And I write it in every journal that I have. The very first page says the same word, and it's the word joy.
My middle name.
Hey, what a blessing.
And then each year I have a different kind of theme that ties to it. And this year I've really been about empower, whether that's empowering myself or empowering others. And as I did my mid-year reset this week and thinking about, does that still align with whom I am? Yes, I still feel like this is my year where I am empowering the organizations I work with. I'm empowering the people around me. It still feels very true to me. But I was willing to let that go, too. That's the other thing about Augustine. He often said, like, be willing to let things go that are no longer serving you.
True.
We talk about this all the time. This man brought this concept to the table
Routine is
17
hard to
years
break,
ago. It
though.
is very
You know
hard
what?
to
I
break.
had a point recently, I think in the last year or 2 years, I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to be bothered by that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because certain things just started to get me so stressed, and I'm like, this is not worth it.
Wound up
No.
crazy. Yes.
So I just, you know,
She's feral.
in my personal life, I was just like, you know, this is not worth it. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And
Right.
I'll tell you what, the more and more I do that, the happier and happier I get.
Yes.
That is true. Your skin
Yes.
looks better,
Unless,
too.
thank you. Unless Nicolas Cage or Tom Hanks show up on my TV, then I'm
always
angry
with
again.
them.
So
Okay.
there.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I do want to like put a challenge. We always love like doing little challenges for our Sunnies, and so I have one for all of us.
Awesome.
Okay, so this is a challenge. Aside from choosing the word,
We don't have to run, do we?
no, but
Okay, good.
but it does include walking.
Oh, all right.
So, you know, Augustine was also a saint, and with a lot of saints, there are things called pilgrimages. People go to places. People
Wait, how
come
far?
from all over
How
the world.
far are we walking? Like,
10 minutes, Mel.
I am Malice.
All
You'll be
right.
fine.
Let me
With your
finish.
arthritis? Look at you move.
all right.
So I encourage each Sunny sometime this week, wherever you are in the world, whatever city or town. If you're here in St. Augustine, go walk our beautiful streets and think about our namesake, or St. Augustine. Go out to the beach and watch a sunrise, but for at least 10 minutes. And if you're really bold, try 20. Go with no phone, no earbuds, no music, just yourself and the outside. And I know Addie's over there going, oh my gosh, we're going to raw dog nature. We're going to raw dog
Addie's
life.
melting down.
Can you go naked? Or are you supposed to wear clothes?
You can wear clothing.
Okay,
You can
okay.
wear shoes or
Well,
not. No
if you,
shoes.
If
We
you
have,
don't
you know,
wear clothes, you can get arrested for
Yeah.
public indecency.
But
Oh,
think
yeah.
about no other outside influences other than just being present with yourself for 10 to 20 minutes. And go out there with the question in your mind, which is, what did I learn so far this year, and where do I want to go? What do I want to become for the latter part of the year? And just think about that. And I guarantee you at the end of that walk, whether 10 or 20 minutes, you'll have an answer. And it's not going to happen at the end. It's going to happen part way through. There's something about being on that journey that will allow you to really feel that answer inside. So Sunnies, and mid-year reset, take the time to sit with yourself, to ask the questions, to give yourself grace, to let go of the things that aren't serving you, and to say, what do I want to become?
Oh my God.
And I love you so much. Thank you so much. What
You're
a
the
beautiful,
best.
beautiful segment. Guys, we're going to take a quick break with Old Town Trolley and St. Augustine Attractions Association. Sit back and relax and take it easy, baby, and let it go as Old Town Trolley's licensed and talented tour conductors share over 500 years of St. Augustine history. Guests will enjoy the city's European flavor, brick-lined streets, and sites such as the Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, and Henry Flagler's former Ponce de Leon Hotel. This 90-minute tour features 22 stops and covers more than 100 points of interest. Guests can use their ticket all day for on and off reboarding. You got to check out hometownpass.com. St. Augustine isn't just a destination, it's an experience. From historic streets to the unforgettable adventures, the city is full of moments waiting to happen. But here's the move. Don't just guess your way through it. Go where the Sunnies find the most trusted attractions. The St. Augustine Attractions Association. Dozens of the best experiences all in one place. From history to hidden gems and everything in between. Plan smarter, explore deeper, experience more. Go to StAugustineFLAttractions.com, because here you don't just visit St. Augustine, you live it.
Peace. Aw, Barbara Jean.
Yeah. All right, now we're getting into DJ Snack Pack playlist.
I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come on, take your time and dance with me.
I know, what was it? So come on, take a time and dance with
Take
me.
your
Yeah,
time.
that's
Most
right.
people assume Joan
The
Jett
owl.
wrote this song, but she did not.
The owl, I love it.
It was written in 1975 by Alan Merrill, the lead singer of the British glam rock band called the Arrows. And
She didn't write it?
No, and it was
Oh.
a direct response to the Rolling Stones' "It's Only Rock and Roll."
Oh my God. I remember when Britney covered this song. Get this story
She
real
did
quick.
a good job.
She did a great job,
Yeah.
but she kept giving Pat Benatar credit and not Joan Jett, and that was like a thing back in the day. Yeah.
That's right.
I
Oh.
want to do. What about your friends?
Will they stand their ground? Will they let you down again? Oh, what about your friends? Are they gonna be low down? Will they ever be around? Or will they turn their backs on you? I'm MSD, I'm a little too friendly.
This was one of the 3
Hypothetically
songs from
say.
TLC's debut album that cracked the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 in 1992, which was an extraordinary achievement for a brand new group.
Yeah.
The original version of TLC actually had a completely different third band member named Crystal Jones.
Oh, I didn't know
And the
that.
name
Not know that.
TLC stood for Tyone, Lisa, and Crystal. When Jones left and Razonda Thomas joined,
Yeah.
Left Eye gave her a nickname Chili, specifically for the group so they could keep their name.
She was kind of chill vibe. Yeah, she screwed
Left
up.
Eye earned her nickname because New Edition member Michael Bivins once told her that he was drawn to her because of her left eye, which was more slanted than her right.
That's
Oh,
kind of
I thought
funny.
maybe she had a lazy eye and got it fixed or
There it
something.
is. What's
yeah.
up with the shenanigans?
We cannot pass over Mary
What?
J. Blige.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it crunk up on it, up on it in this dancery. We got you open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me.
All right,
Mary.
this was the first #1 hit for Dr. Dre that he ever produced.
I did not know
which is a
that.
wild fact given how
What?
dominant he was throughout the 90s.
Yeah.
Yep.
The beat was originally created in a jam session and was earmarked from rapper Hakeem, who turned it down, and the track was filed away under the working title Fragile.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Near the end of 2000, Dre sent it to Mary J., who heard it and immediately wanted to write over it. After she recorded her vocals, Dre called her back and asked her to add a bridge, which she wrote entirely alone, and she later described it as one of the most spiritual parts of the song.
I
She
love
also
that.
that's where she was the one who coined the term dancery and hateration, She made that up while
Yeah.
she was singing the song.
I
You're
love
welcome,
it.
friends.
I love
So
it.
good. Oh my God, Mel, do I have a
Wait, do
sun?
we have the button for this?
Sign.
Let's
You do
hear.
have a button. I think it's button number 3. Sunshine Shenanigans, the
Okay.
case of the rogue inspector. You don't need the button, though, anytime soon. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Sonnies, I need you to stop what you're doing right now and put down your tea and sit up straight, because today we're not talking about a criminal. Today we're talking about a pioneer. 33-year-old Caleb Turner of Nashville, Tennessee.
Lord,
looked
Tennessee,
at
Tennessee.
Tennessee. He looks like a 10 to me, honey. Identified a critical unregulated vulnerability and did what no government agency, no corporate task force, and no health inspector has ever had the courage to do. He appointed himself the official bread roll quality inspector of Texas Roadhouse.
He stole my title.
And if you know, Texas Roadhouse has some incredible rolls.
They do.
Nobody asked him, nobody paid him, nobody gave him the authority. He just simply saw warm, buttery chaos happening at 4 separate locations and said, not on my watch. He showed up with a clipboard, a tape measure, and a laminated badge he printed himself at an office supply store with
God,
the energy of a man who had done zero research.
Genius.
I know, this is genius. 100% of the emotional preparation. He walked into the first restaurant, looked at the staff dead in the eye, and said, "Corporate sent me. The rolls have been getting complacent." Sonny's, the rolls have been getting complacent. This man saw softness where there should be a little bit more integrity. He saw butter absorption rates. He was going through his checklist. He pulled how the pull apart structure was deteriorating
Yes.
in real time. He was just trying to help each and every one of these locations. His proprietary grading system included fluffiness, butter absorption,
Oh my God, these are like legit.
pull apart integrity, steam retention, and a category he invented himself called the overall yeehaw factor. He had a scoring rubric, he had metrics, and he was not winging this. Caleb Turner came to work. One server grew suspicious when he requested his 3rd basket and started holding up the rolls to the light like he was grading diamonds at Tiffany's. Another employee raised an arm when he asked to inspect the cinnamon butter for emotional consistency. And I want to be clear, emotional consistency of cinnamon butter is the standard that did not exist before Caleb Turner, and it is a standard we should all be held to. So by the time he reached the 4th location, other restaurants had called ahead to warn them. Caleb did not care. He just walked in, tapped his clipboard, looked at the hostess in the eye, and said,
"Where's my
I'm going to
basket?"
need a quiet table, some warm rolls, and full cooperation. Not a request, a directive. The whole thing came undone when a manager asked for his corporate identification number, and Caleb, without missing a single beat, replied, "It's confidential." Big Bread is watching. Oh my gosh. Corporate confirmed there was no such position, bread roll quality inspector, which is the single greatest institutional failure this country has ever produced in decades. Police say across 4 restaurants under 8 hours, Caleb consumed an estimated 63 rolls.
I can
Oh
do that.
my God. He
Actually, I don't
is
think I could do
bloated?
that.
definitely
Ew.
bloated for life.
I hope he's not
Maybe
gluten.
that's his like arrest
I hope
punishment.
This is wild. Remember the lady who did this at Target too?
Yes.
She
Yeah.
was like who gets these ideas? Are
And they just go for
these
it.
TikTok challenges we do not know about?
Listen,
What Metheny University
I am-
did they go to?
I am a little upset that I have not thought about this.
Smells like bread, butter.
Oh my God, I can't.
All right, let's do one movie if we can.
Oh,
Yes.
can we do this one? Because it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Let's hear it.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, I love this movie.
Oh my God. The entire screenplay was inspired by a single quote from Arnold Schwarzenegger, who once said, "If there's one thing I hate, it's losers. I despise them." Screenwriter Michael Ardment was so offended by that statement that he wrote a movie specifically arguing that everyone is a loser in some way, and that does not make them a bad person. The role of Frank, the very deeply troubled scholar played by Steve Carell, was specifically written for Bill Murray, with Robin Williams as the second choice. The directors chose Carell because a few months before filming, the studio was nervous because at that point, nobody outside of The Office really knew what he could do.
Oh.
My favorite part of this whole movie, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go with it here. When she's on stage and she's dancing to Super Freak.
Yeah.
And they say, she goes, before she starts, she goes, "My grandfather taught me these dance moves." And they were like, "Oh, well, where's your grandfather?" And she said, "He's in the back of our station wagon." If you haven't seen Little Miss Sunshine, or if you have not watched it in a
It's a
while,
great movie.
you
It's a
need
great
to watch
movie.
it. It is so
It
good.
is.
really
Everybody
cute.
kind of will love that movie,
Yeah.
right?
So good.
All right, Sonnies, we made it to Friday, and before you walk out that door and into this weekend, just stay with us for one more breath. This weekend is not just 2 days off. It's a wide open stretch of hours that belong entirely to you. And we want you to do 3 things with them. I want you to be curious, look closer at something, ask a question. Have you been too busy to ask yourself over the last couple of months? Walk down the street that you've never walked down. The world is so much richer than we remember when we slow down enough to actually look at it. Be kind. Not the polite kind of kind, the real kind. Leave a bigger tip than you planned. Call the person that you've been meaning to call for 3 months. Say the thing you always save for later, because later has a way of never coming enough. Be compassionate with strangers, carrying things you cannot see, with the people in your life who are not just living their best selves right now. Be there for them. And most importantly, with yourself, because you are doing better than you think you are, and you deserve the same grace you so freely give to everyone else. This weekend, pay attention. Something is going to happen that surprises you, a small, quiet, unremarkable looking moment that turns out to be the one you remember. Stay open. Let the world be wonderful to you. You have earned every single hour of this weekend. So be curious, be kind, and be compassionate, and go be the reason somebody else smiles today. Have a beautiful weekend.
Yes, have a good weekend, guys.
We got a little bit of an encore coming up here because the whole band's in studio. So we have the Sunshine Brigade rolling in at 3 o'clock today for the show that's on in the afternoon. All the cool kids, all the Sunnies, we know it as
Afternoon Delight.
Oh, I love when the band is together.
Yes.
Guys, hit that share button. What a beautiful set of shows this week. We love you guys. See you, Sunnies.
Bye, guys.